call the roll. You know, Trustee House wanted to join us by phone. Let's see if I can get a hold of him.
This is Jason.
Trustee House, we're beginning to take the roll call now. Are you available to?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. All right, you can take the roll.
Trustee Denton.
Present.
Trustee Steve. Trustee House. Trustee Holmes.
Present.
Okay. Trustee Brown.
Present.
Sorry about that. Trustee Henry.
Present.
Members of the board are present. We have a quorum. Okay, next thing on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you all stand. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You remain standing as Janice will lead us in prayer today.
Everybody bow their head. Lord, I'm asking for a quick meeting. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I think we all are. Okay, next thing on the agenda is a citizen's address. This is only limited to the items on the agenda. 3 minutes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I have a question on 2 items on the agenda. One is corporate bills. Of course, we weren't able to address this Monday with the outgoing board, and I'd like to ask the entire board, were you all able to go over the corporate bills? This is to the new board.
Yes.
Okay. Only one person?
Yes.
2? Okay, I have a question on page 3 and 8. Page 3, we would go to that. Okay, page 3 is the Homewood Disposal. The mayor came to the board recently, wanted us to pass a bond. He said we were a couple of months behind on the Homewood Disposal. We paid a bill of $132,251.50. Does that mean we're paid up? And Ms. Johnson, you might even be able to chime in on it. Are we paid up with Homewood, and is that bond still necessary for the village to borrow money on? If any trustee or the mayor can answer that, please.
Actually, this is not a question and answer.
Well, sir, this is, according to our agenda, the corporate bills is on the,
Citizen's address.
and it is on the agenda. Can I get an answer, please? If you can't answer it, it's okay. No one can answer that one? Is that better? Okay, I'll repeat the question. I'm asking the board to answer the question of $132,251.50 to be paid out to Homewood Disposal. The mayor came to the board a few weeks ago saying that we need to borrow about $1.5 million in a bond, and he informed the public that we were 2 months behind in the Homewood Disposal. I'm just trying to find out the status of that bill. We paid about $70,000 last month. Now this is $132,000. I'd just like to know what the status of that is. Since we don't have an answer to that, and I have only 3 minutes, and I'm sure the mayor will hold me to that. My last thing is concerning, and I hope someone else would be able to answer this. Why are we extending so many liquor licenses into Class C? I guess the mayor can answer that as the liquor commissioner.
It's not a question and answer session.
Okay, does anybody, since you all are voting on it board tonight, can you all tell me why do we need more liquor? Because you will be voting on it. If no one can answer it, that's fine too. Trustee?
Well, when we get to that agenda item, I do have some questions, so I'm
Okay.
saving my questions for then.
Thank you. Anybody else need to chime in on that before we take the vote? Because I'm assuming that's why citizens' address was before the actual vote. So we got no answer on item corporate bills, and, oh, I missed one, and it was also for the Casper Group to the mayor. We're paying $11,500 a month to Casper Group. And do we have anyone, Mayor, that you know of that's going to be taking their place, because there is no one in the finance department? Both persons have quit. Would you know what the status of that is?
And we've reached our 3 minutes.
Thank you, Chief. And if anyone can please answer that.
Mr. Muhammad and ladies and gentlemen in the audience, as I just reminded the mayor, citizens' address has been moved to the top of the agenda to allow citizens to address agenda items. It does not change the nature of citizens' address, which is designed for the public to address the board, not as a question and answer period.
Good afternoon. I guess I'm up here for pretty much the same reason. I want to understand what the agenda items are and why we're doing it. I don't know, so I think we should be able to ask the question.
Yes.
It's not new, I'm sorry, former trustee.
But if we don't understand what the vote
Well,
is.
I would repeat what Trustee Henyard says, that each item the board is free to discuss among itself. I think several of these items have already been on the agenda and have been discussed and even voted upon previously.
I guess as a resident, I really want to understand what's going on, and I don't. I don't know about anyone else. I don't understand what these items are or the ordinances. Perhaps I need to go back and read the ordinances to have a full understanding, but why are they on the agenda? And I just don't understand what this meeting is about. I came because it's a special meeting. I don't have a full understanding of what the vote's for, and I guess I won't get one until
Well,
after
I'm
it's
sorry,
up for discussion.
I would add, it might be helpful typically when the attorney is here and we are waiting for the attorney, but if not, then I would ask, and I would expect that the mayor would also give a brief explanation of each item, and if there's any discussion that the board feels appropriate, and I expect there would be, that would lead to better understanding.
Okay, while I appreciate the address being put in the front, I also would want to understand what the vote is going to be for, because after we've discussed and we don't really know what we're discussing, the vote's going to be entered. And then my comments that I might have after the explanation won't be addressed. It's just a little concerning for me in how I think, and I don't know if other people think that way, but I want to have an understanding of what you're voting on. And why is it the number of liquor license? What I do understand about it is what came up in one other meeting is that you need a pour license in order to get the slot machines, and that's why we wanted to grant it before. Is that the same thing? But that's a question. Can we answer the question? Is that what this is about?
I would ask the mayor to give a brief explanation at the beginning.
It's going to be discussed, you know, the board members are going to be discussing. You said it's a special meeting. I don't know why it's a special meeting. The previous boards have held special meetings.
No, I'm
all
not
through-
disagreeing that. I'm just trying to understand the agenda, what's on here, and why are we doing a special meeting for this? I don't know. So the only thing I can do is ask the question.
As I stated, is that the previous board and other boards have conducted special meetings a number of times, and me as mayor wonder why they held those special meetings.
Yeah, me as a resident too.
So this is no different. You know, we think these are matters that need urgent attention, and we put on a special meeting.
We've reached our 3-minute mark.
Okay.
Well, I agree with you on we should answer you guys' questions when you come forward. That's the purpose of citizens' address being placed before. If we can't answer it, then you won't understand what's going on. Otherwise, keep it at the end, but then we will already have taken the vote. And I didn't think we needed a special meeting either. We had swearing in on Monday, and all of a sudden, it was a special board meeting. As you can see, I would respect the board to reach out to the entire body up here and ask us if we're available to come and have a special board meeting, because some of us had stuff to do. Some of us have to put things in order, Mayor, when we call a special meeting.
Trustee, you had the option of showing up or not showing up.
Mayor.
Previously, in other special meetings, you still had that option. And you chose on some occasions not to be there, and you chose on some occasions to be there. This is no different.
Mayor, what
It's
I'm
no
asking,
different.
what I'm asking is with a courtesy email, like we've done in the past as a trustee, we talk to the entire body, and we ask everybody if they're available to show up for the special
That's
board
not
meeting
true.
or not. And then everybody chime in and say if they're available or not. I had to make arrangements to make sure I can come to this special board meeting. So
Well-
what I'm asking you is if you guys can send an email, because y'all said y'all got elected, y'all don't work together. I'm asking, send an email, see who's available, and respect everybody's time.
Now-
That's it.
Now, you want the game changed now.
It ain't no game
It
change,
is
Mayor.
never-
I'm making,
it
that's
is
for the
nev-
record. My
the-
statement's for the record. It's no
That's-
argument.
That's fine, that's fine. But the clerk makes up the agenda with the 48-hour notice, just like she's done in the past. And she hadn't sent out emails, are you available this day or that day?
Mayor.
It's never been, it's never, and she's never got one, she just
Mayor,
said.
so what
It's
four,
not-
what four
Can I
trustees
finish?
signed off
Can I
for the
finish?
special meeting?
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Because they had to sign off on this.
Right. It doesn't take 4 trustees.
We had to sign off on special meetings.
Okay.
The mayor is entitled by
So
state
the-
law and ordinance to
Okay,
call
so,
a special
so
meeting.
the mayor called the special meeting. That's
I
what you're saying.
did.
Okay.
I
And
did.
That's what it
state, because
says.
you're making it
Okay.
as the trustees call the special meeting.
I didn't say
Okay.
that.
Got it. So this is your agenda. This is what you want. Got it.
Well, you'll see when the trustees chime in on whose agenda it is and where we
It's your
want to go with
agenda,
this.
but okay.
You know. Go ahead, Ms. Creighton.
Good afternoon, our new trustees sitting at the podium. You guys look great. And to our returning trustees. I have a question I have a concern with the amending of the number of licenses issued, because I thought we were at our max according to the ordinance. Mary Kay, is that correct or not?
The ordinance that's on the proposed for this evening would increase the maximum.
To increase it, so you're going to amend the ordinance. And amending the Title III of the Village Code to increase licenses and building fees. Also, the LLC for our legal actions, and I understand this is a special meeting, so you find it urgent that we terminate a multi-year agreement with our legal action on Cliff Taylor and the insured source. Can you, Mayor, or would the attorney be able, or the trustees be able to expound on that?
Well, the previous board extended it, and it wasn't even up for expiration. We find that that's not something you should do. There was plenty of time left on the policy for the renewal, and we felt, or I felt, and even with legal counsel felt, that it was pushed through with the old board for some favoritism. So we're taking another look at it.
You said for some favoritism. Was that
Possibly.
in the minutes?
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly. Why would do you renew your auto insurance 6 months before it expires?
Yes, sir.
You do?
I do. I'm sorry.
You exception to the rule.
Good afternoon, residents, mayor, board, administration. Would there be any way that these resolutions and/or ordinances, and then going forward, those that are proposed on the agenda can be printed? I don't believe, if they could be posted online, that'd be great also.
We could do that.
But even so, can they be printed for our view?
Yeah.
When we have a full-time media or even a regular media person, we will go back to posting the board packets online on the village website. Printing them is a cost factor and a staff time factor, and so it may not be feasible. Something like this evening, with a limited number of folks in attendance and a limited number of proposals, possibly. But there are sometimes, say, a budget ordinance that goes on for 100 pages, and we have a packed house. I would not make that promise, but we will have them online.
Okay. So my second question then is regarding old business part B. What power would this resolution, if passed, do? Because it's a resolution. So exactly what will it do as a resolution? In reference to what it says.
It states that the board is terminating by resolution the agreement.
By resolution, a power A resolution has power to do that?
The board has power to do it by a motion. A resolution actually takes it one step further, makes it a written statement.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hey, for the new business,
to the
item
mic, sir.
8.
Speaking to the mic.
Okay. New business item 8, section 337. What licenses are those that we're talking about?
Liquor license.
Liquor license? And at this time, how many liquor licenses do we have on the books right now?
I'm not sure. 7?
Of that category.
7 of that category.
7?
Yes.
But as a whole liquor license for the village?
But it's the different categories, so I'm not sure.
So what category is this one?
Mary?
This is a restaurant pouring license.
A restaurant pouring license? So right now you're at 7.
It-
So how many are
It's
we
not-
looking to raise it
It's
to?
not a restaurant pouring. Restaurants are included in that. Yes.
It's a pouring license. I stand corrected.
Pouring license.
Yes.
So we have 7 places you can get pouring. Okay. So how many are we looking to take it up to?
We're looking to add 8 more.
8 more?
Yes.
It's a lot of liquor being poured. Okay. I guess that was basic when because it didn't say on here what license we were talking about, so it just says license. It would be good if it was clear that individuals know what type of license we are actually voting on.
One of my questions just got answered about how many liquor licenses there is. Well, actually, a portion of that got answered. And so you're looking to get 8 more pouring license for the Village of Dolton. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And so can you answer this question for me as to why we need to bring 8 more pouring licenses into the Village of Dolton? That is a lot of alcohol being poured. It's enough crime going on with people getting drunk, people getting shot, and so people being able to pour more liquor in their establishments. Don't you think that's going to be an issue in the Village of Dolton?
I don't.
And I already know that because you are the liquor commissioner, that's an increase for you. So why is it necessary for us as citizens of the Village of Dolton who live here to be subjected to 8 more pouring licenses?
Well, most of these licenses are going to go out to establishments that already have licenses. They have, whether it's a package license or a restaurant license, they already have it. But in order to get gaming, the state requires them to have a pouring license. Majority of these places that have gaming sell very little liquor during the gaming sessions. People go there to play the games, not really to drink, unless it's a bar that has the gaming machines in it.
Are we getting any more liquor stores in the Village of Dolton?
Not at this moment.
Okay, I know that to be untrue. My second issue is when you all place ordinance number, now just do the 19-012, amending section 3.37. Just as a point of information, a lot of people don't know what those ordinances actually represent. So it might be a good idea to let the citizens, when they come to these meetings, know what the ordinance actually is, especially since now you're putting citizens' address at the very beginning, and the citizens' address is limited to the discussion of the agenda items, and we don't get to discuss anything after the meeting is over. That's my question.
Yeah. I think Madam Clerk just answered that when AJ came up and asked maybe if we could put it on the website, but we don't have a full-time media person. We expect to have a full-time media person that we can do that. Secondly, that is why we want to go back to the committee of the whole. It'll be discussed first and then voted on the next meeting. So that process will change. Okay, if there's no more, I'd like to get a motion to approve the corporate bills.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the corporate bills at the amount of $1,468,401.
Are you there, Trustee House? Trustee House, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Can you hear okay? Okay. Is there a second to approve the corporate bills?
Second.
Okay, it's been a motion and seconded to approve the corporate bills as stated. Any discussion? No discussion, roll call.
Trustee Denton?
Aye.
Trustee Steve?
Aye.
Trustee House?
Aye.
Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Holmes?
Aye.
Trustee Henyard?
Aye.
Motion carries, 6 ayes. Next thing on the agenda is old business item A, resolution number 19R-008, terminating a redevelopment agreement subject to fulfillment of invest in Dolton requirement, BP Capital. Can I get a motion on this resolution?
I'd like to make a motion that we pass resolution number 19R-008.
Get a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to, for the termination of redevelopment agreement, subject to fulfillment, invest in Dolton requirement for BP Capital, resolution number 19R-008. Any discussion?
Yes, may I speak, Mayor?
Go ahead.
I just have a question. In terminating this agreement, that will involve us having to pay, I believe it was $45,000 per house. Is that my understanding? If we terminate this agreement with the company, then we're responsible to pay $45,000 for each house that he's not able to complete.
That $45,000 was in regards to the invest in Dolton, not into the redevelopment agreement for BP Capital. So what this is saying, that we will go forward and fulfill, at this time, we'll go forward and fulfill the invest in Dolton, which is the 6 houses that would apply to that penalty, but not subjected to the original agreement of all the other houses.
Thank you.
Okay,
Mayor, may you recognize Mayor?
go ahead.
This is the BP Capital was the highly unpopular thing that the last board passed, and we got this from Attorney Murphy that as of the Friday, they got 14 more homes. So I think it's a total of maybe 38, close to 40-something homes, and all these people transferred to a company called BLC Home Construction LLC, located in Northbrook, Illinois. So I just want to put that on the residents now to remember that this company that we're cutting the contract with now, majority of them homes went to outside owners, didn't go to homeowners or residents of Dolton, and went to investors. So just remember that. So that's why we're cutting it for sure.
And we're researching who that LLC company is. We know that the first house that was put on the market, that was put on the market and sold for, what was it, 142,000?
147.
157,000.
47.
47,000 was sold by the law partner of Anthony Bass' son. His law partner, Anthony Bass's law partner, Grasso. That house was sold by his son. We feel there's a conflict of interest, certainly, but that's going to be looked into. It actually is being looked into right now. Any further discussion on this?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure I understand what this is going to do. This is to give back all the properties, or is it the ones they are currently going after?
The ones that's currently going out.
Okay, for instance, they got, 20 or so properties that they got that we gave them the deed to?
About 38, from what I understand now.
Okay, and then you just said that they got 14 more as of Friday?
That
That's included.
including.
It's included in 38?
Yes.
Okay, so are we trying to reverse that, or what exactly?
Well,
will
at this
we be
point, I
doing?
don't think we can reverse it. The liens have been entered into court. It was granted by the court. The deeds have been issued, and the clerk, Madam Clerk, signed off on them Friday.
Okay, so we just canceling the agreement. We're not basically taking back the 38 houses, right?
Right.
All right, got it.
Yeah. Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Denton.
Yes.
Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee House.
Trustee House? Hello?
Lost him.
You want to dial them back?
Oh, he's on the.
No, it was on mute, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Trustee Hendry.
Aye.
Six ayes, motion passed. Next thing on the agenda is item B, resolution number 19R-009, terminating a multi-year agreement and authorizing legal action. Cliff Taylor, Insure Source LLC. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to pass resolution number 19R-009.
Second.
Second, it's been motion to pass resolution number 19R-009, terminating a multi-year agreement and authorizing legal action. Any discussion? No discussion, roll call.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I'm just trying to understand why. What is the bottom line? What did this insure source do that was so terribly wrong? If it's not broke, don't fix it. So I'm not getting a clear understanding of why. we
I think I just explained it. I'm not sure whether you,
I heard you say because
so it's no,
his
so it's
contract was not up and we voted to keep him on. So that's your only reason?
my only reason. That's a good enough reason.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, Mayor, can Cliff Taylor's here? Can he come up and explain? I guess.
Cliff Taylor has had enough opportunities to come up, and he's been up on a couple other occasions when this has come up,
Okay.
and it's in discussion right now.
Right.
So,
Right. It's in discussion, so I would
Right.
like to hear from the individual that you're trying to terminate, so I can make a clear decision up here on which way I want to go.
this was on the agenda before. Nothing's changed. It's on the agenda up here now. If you wish to vote no, you can do so. It's been explained a couple of times, so I ask that if there's no further discussion, we vote on it.
So we can't. We can't have the individual come up and speak.
No, it's been explained several times.
All right.
Do what you gotta do, Chief. Roll call.
On the motion to approve ordinance, resolution number 19R-009.
You there, Trustee House?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Trustee Denton.
No.
Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee House.
No.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Trustee Henry.
No.
3-3, Mayor.
Okay, aye. Okay, motion carried, 4 ayes. New business. Item A, ordinance number 19-012, amending section 337 of the Dolton Village Code, number of license issue. Can I get a motion on ordinance number 19-012?
Make a motion to pass resolution ordinance number 19-012.
Is there a second?
Second.
So motion and second to amend section 337 of the Dolton Village Code, number of licenses. Any discussion?
Yes. I heard a little bit about it during citizens' address. I didn't know that you wanted to increase it to 8. We currently have 7, and you want to increase it to 8. Would that increase your salary as well?
Increase my salary.
Yes, you're the liquor commissioner,
That's
Mayor.
got nothing to do with
I'm
increasing my
asking,
salary.
So if we increase it by 8, doesn't that increase your salary, Mayor?
No, it does not. My
So
salary
your
is
salary
set by
stays the same?
ordinance. It's
Okay.
not set by commission.
So it's not set by the number of licenses that's
No, it is
dished
not.
out?
No, it is not.
Oh,
If there were no
nobody asked me
licenses,
questions.
if it was no license in this city, the mayor is still a liquor commissioner. As of all other towns, All mayors are the liquor commissioner.
Okay, Mayor, you speak as that if you look next door to South Holland, they are dry, don't have one liquor license and thriving, doing better than Dolton. But yet you want to keep on increasing our liquor licenses, and I don't see the need to do so.
Well, you may not see the need, but other towns have increased liquor license to be in compliance with the statute of the state so they can have gaming.
Mayor,
So
we
it's nothing
have enough
unusual,
gaming.
and you cannot compare us to South Holland. If you know about South Holland have not had liquor in some cases due to religious aspects, and that goes back years.
Mayor, we compare all the time to different municipalities up here,
I-
and we have enough gaming where the residents can choose to go and gamble. I don't think that we need to increase that. I think the number should stay where it's at. It's at 7. It should stay that way. It shouldn't get increased to 8. The residents do not want it. I remember having a meeting, and I tried to advocate for a business owner here, and residents got up at Citizens Address and said they do not want any more liquor licenses in the village of Dolton.
Well, I can tell you this.
And that's for the
This
record, Mayor
board
Council.
is going to take an aggressive approach in bringing revenue in the village of Dolton.
That's
That the
fine.
previous boards have stopped every source of revenue to come here.
Mayor,
And
I'm
we're
not
gonna
against-
we're gonna increase. We're gonna pursue revenue because we got a serious financial issue here, and the only way to do it is to have things in place to generate revenue.
Mayor, I'm
There
not
has not
against
been
revenue
one
increase.
instant. There has not been one instance in this village where gaming has caused a problem. And gaming started in Oregon, and it started as a amusement for housewives. For housewives to have something to do. That's where Oregon started, and that's how that's how the gaming started. We don't have any problems where there's been gaming. But I can tell you, in comparison to other cities that have gaming, the amount of revenue that they brought in to substantiate some of the bills that they need to pay.
Mayor,
Most of these people that's going to get this pouring license have licenses already.
for the record, if the residents telling us they do not want it, why will we as a board put it through?
Well, I got a lot of residents tell me we should do it.
I don't believe that. Majority of the residents stood
I
up
don't
here
believe
and
you
said
either.
they do not want more liquor licenses in Dolton.
I don't
Mayor.
believe you either.
I'm just telling you, for the
Okay.
record. That's
All
what,
right.
that's
All
what
right.
I'm rock
Any
with.
further discussion? Roll call.
On the motion to approve ordinance number 19-012, Trustee Denton.
No.
Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee House. Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Trustee Henyard.
No.
Motion carried, 4-2.
Two.
Next thing on the agenda, amending Title III of the Village Code to increase license and building fees. Can I get a motion to approve 19-013?
I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 19-01.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned and second to approve ordinance number 19-013, amending Title III of the Village Code to increase license and building fees. Any discussion? No discussion, roll
Mayor,
call.
I just got a question, because she just gave us this.
Go ahead.
So my question is, we're doing based off of the amount of the job. So for instance, if it's $100, it's plus $150 for inspection. So what's the $100 fee?
That's for the permit.
So the $100 is for the permit, and the $150 is to inspect.
Yes.
Okay. And then the second form she gave us, that's just the fees. Did it go up? Because it's not like a comparison. It's basically say $400. It don't say like it went from 400.
Yeah, we didn't put the spread on there. You're a former board member. I think you're familiar with all those fees.
Well, Mayor, all I'm stating is, how can I vote for something if I don't know what it increased to? You
And
just
I'm gonna
put one number here.
And I'm going to say this, trustee, you have the option to vote yes or no
Mayor,
or
okay,
abstain.
I know my rights. I know
Okay,
what I can and
all right
can't do. I'm
then.
asking
Well, then you
questions.
just asked me, how do you
I'm
know?
asking because this is not clear for someone to vote on. So how is
Trustee,
somebody,
you-
for instance, let me explain my question.
Go ahead.
It say permits and license.
Mhm.
These are the business license fees.
All right.
So, for instance, if you wanted to do arts and frames, it's $150. So, did we increase that from $50 to $150? Did it stay the same? It don't say anything like that.
All
it
the
say is
fees.
$150.
all the fees, or 99% of the fees have been increased.
To what? Half, double?
To what you have in your hand.
Mayor, do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying, but
Okay,
what you're asking for is the spread on what the increase was.
Correct.
Now you've been a trustee here for 6 years now, and
exactly right.
Now we both can't talk at the same time. You want to talk?
Yes, I
this?
do.
Okay, go
and
ahead.
we don't get stuff like this. This don't operate like this. Normally,
Okay.
you have a comparison. It increased $50, trustee. It increased $200. It don't say that. It's a flat fee here. So I can't vote and say, okay, yeah, that should increase $50 more, or that should increase $200. You don't have it spelled out. It's just numbers.
Trustee, 6 years ago, I asked for an increase in the fees and the permits. You said that I want to run the businesses out because we want to increase the fees. Our financial director told you 2 years ago she wanted to increase the fees. This board, or the previous board, and some of these board members now voted against doing that. We cannot keep hurting this village. I mean, as things go up for the village, our bills are going up and our revenues are coming down or staying where they're at. We have to adjust with the cost of living here in the village. We cannot continue to say, hey, we're giving permits away. Because those permits cost us, Sandra, are you there? What do those permits cost us for 1 year, giving them away? Over $60,000. Over $60,000. We cannot keep operating this way. It's not operated. They don't operate that way in any village. We don't want to cut water off on Friday. No utility company has that.
Mayor, let's stay to the agenda item.
We have to generate revenue, and we cannot continue to have bills that have been increased on us and we stay where we're at. For many years, we've got every year an increase of water from the city of Chicago, and this administration failed to pass those costs off.
Okay, Mayor,
Now-
my question is,
And we have to be progressive, and we have to generate revenue to pay our bills.
okay, and I don't have an issue
Okay.
with generating income.
Right.
But my issue is, if this is not clear in front of me to vote yes to agree with you, I will not agree with it.
That's fine,
why
trustee. You
okay,
have
but
that
I'm
option.
making my statement because this is not right. If you make it right, you might have my support.
You-
That's
you-
my point.
You have
If
that
you just
option.
put a number here and not telling me how we got to that number, I can't support it.
You're going to tell me that over the 6 years,
Mayor.
you have not been associated with or viewed these fees?
I've reviewed fees, and when we give you a structure, it say we're gonna increase it by $50, we're gonna double it, we're gonna increase. It don't say that. That's my point.
I understand what you're saying, trustee.
Mayor, may I speak?
I understand what you're
Possible
trustee.
Mayor, may I speak?
Hold on. Yes.
Is it possible we could table this until we can get a comparison showing what it was and what it now
The
is?
reason that we don't want,
Second.
the reason that we don't want to table this is that these license fees are due now. They're due now. We have to collect these, you know, and the permit department, Sandra now is waiting on us to get this approved because people are coming in for their licenses.
I understand.
So that's where we're at. And these fees have not been increased exorbitantly.
I'm in agreement with increasing it, but I would just like to have an educated
Thank you.
statement to give to the residents.
So now what do? We table it to when?
To the
next
next
meeting?
board meeting.
So then we'll be
Then we'll be behind the deadline?
further into May, where the license were due April 31st. You know, this board has had a history of tabling, not revisiting it, or it's taking so long to get the job done.
Mayor, it's not that. All we're asking is that we get the information correct, and you will have
The information
support.
is correct.
I'm telling you that I'm for increasing certain things, but I don't have it in front of me. I just have a number, so I don't know what you jumped to. Did we go from $50 to $400? You don't have nothing here. It just say $400. So all I'm saying is I can't vote blindly, not knowing what we increased it to. That's all I'm saying.
So what does the permit department do? Don't renew any licenses?
Forget it. It's going nowhere.
Well, I'm gonna give you an example. and I'm not sure which one it was, we had a hair salon license $90 a year. Unheard of. Unheard of. That's less than $10 a month. Unheard of. We have nail shop, a license for the year, $70. Unheard of. In other towns, they're $1,000 a year. And this has been going on, and those are the same fees that were in place when I came in office, and I asked the board, and you were on the board, to increase these fees, and it never was done. You voted against it. The finance director, Yvonne, asked 2 years ago to increase these fees because we're way out of whack with other communities. The board voted no. But our bills still continue to skyrocket.
Mayor, for the record, I just stated for 7 different times, you will have my support if you gave it to me the way I'm asking. It's nothing here. You just got one number.
So
just
what
like
do you
just
do?
said
So-
something was
so
$90,
what do you
and then
want?
you want to
You
jump
want
it.
another
I'm
special
fine with
meeting?
that.
You want another special meeting?
No, I
Because
don't
if
want
we
another
wait,
special meeting.
if we wait to the third Monday again, we're halfway past when the licenses are due.
But Mayor, why can't we get this the right way from jump?
It is the right way.
It's not. Okay, so for this bakery, the bakery is $350.
We don't have a bakery.
What was it before?
We don't have a bakery.
Okay, but I'm just saying that's what this say on this paper. So if you come in, you want to open up a bakery.
I'm not going to
it's
discuss
gonna
it
be
any further. We're going to take the
$350.
roll.
So
We're going to take the
was
roll.
it $50 before and it jumped to
We gonna-
$300 more? What?
we
Like
gonna-
that's
we-
what I'm asking.
We're going to take the roll. I don't know what it was exactly.
Okay,
you know.
so how can you vote on something that you
But
don't
those
know?
two
That's my
I
point.
remember. Those two I remember.
It's nothing to compare to.
Well, just take
I'm
the
for
roll.
increases, but you have to
Just-
tell me
just-
how
just take
we
the
got
roll.
to that number.
Yeah. That's why, when you put those 2 years of free permits, it costs us $60,000.
It did not. It did not. That's
So
the
you-
issue
you-
now.
you
People
calling
throw
Sandra-
numbers
you calling Sandra-
because people throw
you
numbers. I'm
saying
trying not
Sandra's
to throw
not
people
saying
under the
it's
bus,
untrue?
Mayor, because normally you have to
You
check
saying-
with other
you
municipalities
saying
to make sure you
it's
increase in the
untrue?
right way. It's not true.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, you're not going to give any free permits away this year, I can tell you that much.
And that's fine. But you know
Go
me,
ahead.
I'm for
Take the
people. I'm
roll.
always going to look out for the residents.
Take the roll.
On the motion to approve ordinance number 19-013, amending the village code to increase license and building fees. Trustee Denton.
Yes.
Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee House. Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Trustee Henyon.
Present.
Motion carries 5 ayes. I'd like to get a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Denton.
Aye. Yes.
Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee House. Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Trustee Henyon.
Aye.